welcome back to Talking Trollocs. So we are, God, we're at the halfway mark now. We're at 400 pages. What an absolute chonker. So at the end of the last episode, we sort of feel left off with the band all splitting up. Didn't know if it was going to be multi-POV, if it was just going to be a Rand fest. That sounds... That doesn't
Still time.
good.
There's still time.
I'm very happy that it's multi-POV. What about yourself?
Well, I mean, 2 episodes ago I said these dream sequences are totally immaterial and trivial. 1 episode ago I said I don't really think this is going to be very multi-POV, so I don't think I'm going to predict anything moving forward because it's clear I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about.
Because I've been pretty on the ball, haven't I? Every time I say something it comes to pass. Maybe I'm an Aes Sedai and a wisdom.
Yeah, something. For me there's pros and cons with this. So pro is obviously we split up, we get to spend a bit more time with each small group of characters and get to know them a bit better. You've had concerns about character development.
Definitely.
This might address them, so that's a positive. On the other hand, instead of the plot moving forward every chapter, now we've got 3 plots moving forward every 3rd chapter. So inevitably the thing is going to slow to a screeching pace of about 1/3 of what it was. So the second half of the book is clearly going to be slower than the first half.
See, I take your point, obviously, in the main overall plot, but I tend to prefer multi-POV because then, like, I do get sort of 3 plots moving, like, and then it feels like it's quicker for me, which I appreciate is the exact opposite, like, from a logic point of view.
But watching 3 snails race each other is not more exciting than watching one cheetah go pewing.
But what if the cheetah is a boring wee dickhead like Rand, and the snails are really exciting characters like Moiraine and Ewin? Because then I would rather watch the snails.
But you realise that Moiraine was in every chapter before the split.
Yes, I know, but it was from Rand's
so
perspective.
So now you've got 1/3 as much
and I don't
Moiraine.
care about Rand. Yes, but I have 2/3 less Rand.
We'd 1 Moiraine chapter in that whole chunk.
Yes, but 2/3 less Rand.
So it's a mixed bag.
I'm enjoying it. I thought that, although, like, granted, I wasn't like, yes, let's go the characters. Like, I don't feel like there was a huge amount of character pool. I could definitely see myself getting there. I particularly liked Ewin and Perry. I liked their chapters. I feel like I'm actually starting to get to know Perry a wee bit as a character now, which is really good, because I felt like that was lacking before. I feel like we're still lacking Matt because it's just focused on Rand. I feel like he's maybe been drawn a short straw a wee bit. But I'm liking obviously more time with Moiraine and getting things from Moraine's perspective as well. I think that might make a lot of the Shia Bad Guy, Shia Goody chat that we've been having a wee bit more prevalent because we'll actually get her thoughts and her feelings.
And there was a passing confirmation during the scene with Moiraine in it that the Aes Sedai are not of one mind and that she is a bit of a rebel, which was funny because we just talked about that.
I know.
I think you're right though, like Matt, we don't really know much better. He had a strange personality transplant which didn't really seem to come from it. Like, I appreciate there's been a build-up of things and he's been very stressed, but he's just sort of changed very quickly, which is a bit unusual. Whereas I think we are getting to know Perrin a bit better. Although we are getting to know him better, I felt it was quite artificial because it seemed that as soon as we went into multi-POV, suddenly we got to know Perrin for the first time. Like, it was as if this character had never been on the page before. So we're learning that he was surprised about being called upon to be a leader, and he was telling us all about Ewin and how she's not just looking for adventure, but she likes to be in charge. And I don't know, it seemed so abrupt that we suddenly started delving into their characters. It's like Jordan had deliberately waited until this moment to start unpicking some of this stuff. and it just seemed a bit jarring.
I didn't find that, but I understand why it would seem that way. It just didn't feel that for me. I felt like it was sort of a natural progression of things now that we're split up, and now we would have a wee bit more time, especially with Perrin and Ewin, because, well, I was going to say their chapter was a wee bit more chill, but I mean, no really. But I feel like they had a wee bit more time just to sort of chat about things, so I felt like it was a sort of a natural flow. I couldn't think of that word. So talking about Ewin, shall we chat about the new characters that were introduced to us?
The wolves.
The wolves. I like how Bailey jumped up then. Like, I'm a wolf. And you're a wolf.
So I think we both expect this guy's a werewolf.
Yeah. As soon as, like, Simon had read that chapter before me, and then as soon as I read it, I was like, werewolves, surely. And you were like, I had similar thoughts. Especially because they keep talking about his eyes. And that's what's making me be like, no. And I was just half expecting, like, one of the other werewolves.
So are they telling you yes when you're looking into them?
Yes.
The eyes said aye.
Oh, very, very good.
The eyes said aye.
And now the Doug's got his toy.
This isn't really the time
to show off that he's a wolf. You've hunted a wild, long sausage thing. Yes, so I fully expect that they are going to be werewolves. And I actually am really interested in the wolves. Thanks, Bales. Because I feel like we got like another level, a sort of events that could happen leading up to the beginning of the cycle, because he was saying like the Aes Sedai don't like me because I can chat to wolves, and sort of feel like it's a sign, but he didn't really tell us what it's a sign of, just that it happened hundreds of years ago also, so we're sort of feel like, oh, is it something or is it nothing? So I think that could be quite interesting.
Yeah, and it is interesting again because we still don't officially know that they're after Rand, and Perrin is able to speak to wolves.
Yep.
So again, maybe it places him a bit more in the crosshairs a wee bit.
Yep.
Just yet again, all three characters are potentially of interest to the Dark One, but which one is he really after?
That's it. Aye, very interesting. I liked it a lot. I think that could be cool, and I like that the wolves are going to be travelling with us for a wee bit, because I was quite worried, like when Ewin and that were like, right, catch you, bye, that was going to be it for the wolves for a while, so I'm glad that they're going to accompany them on their journey a wee bit, and hopefully we'll get a wee bit more of an idea as to what it all means.
And what about this commune of pacifists?
The travellers. I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was particularly interesting because travellers these days, there's still quite a lot of prejudice and quite a lot of judgment towards travellers currently, and I felt like what I was reading about in this book was no so dissimilar about something that somebody would say about a traveller now. So I was thinking like that was a wee bit social commentary in there about the prejudices put on people who live an alternative lifestyle. So I thought that was really interesting, but maybe I've only drawn that parallel and you didn't feel the same.
Didn't really pop into my head, to be honest.
No, I thought it was cool. I thought like it could have been a decent wee bit of social commentary, which is always interesting to me.
So something I found interesting was the debate when they got to Whitebridge and they came off the boat. They were having a bit of an argument about what to do next, and the options were essentially stay in Whitebridge for Moraine, travel on to Commune and try to eventually reach the Aes Sedai, or go back on the boat and go to Ilion and just sort of try to have this life of anonymity. And if you were Rand in that position, what would you have done?
I would have travelled to the Aes Sedai. Does that surprise you in any way?
Just because you like the Aes Sedai?
Aye. But no, I feel like the only people that he really can trust 100% at the minute, I feel, is probably Moraine. Like, I feel like he's quite assured in the fact that Tam told him to let go, and I think that if Tam felt like he was in any real danger with Moraine, then he probably wouldn't have told him to. And so I feel like Rand has this sort of inherent trust built with Moraine, and so I feel like for Rand, being as boring and sensible as he is, he's probably like, right, well, the Aes Sedai will protect me, so that's where I'm going to go. But for me, it would be just because I like the Aes Sedai. What about you?
I think I would too.
Yeah? Oh, I totally thought you'd pick a wee lifey anonymity.
I would if I thought it would have worked, but Rand made the point. Like, he's not going to be able to escape being hunted, so he feels his relative safety with the Aes Sedai. But yeah, I was interested about what you'd have done in that scenario.
I think, sorry, this has just popped into my head, it's a wee bit of a tangent, but what we were talking about earlier, about sort of what's his face? Matt having a personality transplant. I wonder if maybe
is it the dagger?
The dark one's sort of getting a wee bit more into his noggin.
I wonder if it's the dagger.
Sort of like a ring type thing that's poisoning him a wee bit. See, I was thinking it was maybe the dark one giving him quite a bit of a hard time, and maybe he's, you know, putting some real pressure on him, and he's really no sleeping and he's struggling, and he just feels like he can't talk about it, if that had anything to do with his personality change.
Perhaps. Speaking of people who have impressions of the Aes Sedai, the wisdom we discovered was maybe not all that different from Moraine, who she dislikes so
and what did
much.
I just talk about in the last episode?
How you thought the wisdom might be a wee bit like the Aes Sedai she distrusts so much.
Yes! I said in the last one that I felt like their powers were similar enough that I felt they could be drawn from the same source. They are. I haven't read this book before.
Power. There's only one power.
I swear.
The one power?
Yes.
Clues in the name.
I felt like that was very interesting, and I feel like the wisdom is still, like, I really like that bit that we got from her perspective, where she was like, right, now she says this, so she wants me to do this, so I am not going to do that, I'm going to do this, but does she want me to do that? So no, she's not stopping me from doing this is what I'm doing, and I like that level of stubborn. I thought that was impressive, because that's my level of stubborn. But no, I think that could be an interesting storyline, but I feel like it's funny that Moraine just keeps to be gathering all these Aes Sedai. Like, she's not even trying to recruit them, and she's like, oh fuck, here's another yin. Part of the pattern, crack on, come on.
You got that line again, didn't you?
We did, but no, I think it's good. I think that it'll maybe break down some stereotypes, and again, like what we've spoke about this entire time, no knowing whether the Aes Sedai are the good guys or the bad guys, maybe that'll help us decipher it a wee bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing their journey. But someone who's not journeying on,
yes,
Tom faded away.
He did.
Thoughts?
I didn't have a particularly emotional pull towards it. It was just like, alright, he's dead, and that was sort of it for me. I didn't care enough to be emotional, but like, it is sort of like our first character death, really. A character that we got to know and spend time with. Yes. But nah, I didn't feel anything about it in particular. What about you?
Well, why do you think I'm doing that?
Because you don't think he's really dead?
I don't think he's really dead. First member of the Fellowship dies off page. I don't think so. Like, I think Tom is going to be... Gandalf's law comes into play here. If you don't see it, it didn't happen. I don't believe that Tom died off page. It's ridiculous. He's not dead. He's been captured or something. I don't really understand what the Fade would do with a Gleeman, but I firmly believe Tom is not dead.
Quite a prediction.
And do you know my track record with predictions?
You're such a good spinner.
Flash prediction.
Oh, well, you just gave yours.
Tom is not dead.
I think... Thanks, Bills. I think that Ewin and Perrin could maybe get together.
Well, he was quite jealous when she sloped off with that strapping young lad.
Yes, I just think there's like a closeness between the two of them that we're getting to see now that we didn't really see between her and Rand. And I liked it when we were getting things from his perspective, that he was like, and Egwin feels this, and Egwin does this, and this is how Egwin does things. So like he clearly knows quite a lot about her, so I'm wondering if he's been like pining a wee bit. So that's my flash prediction. I don't know, there was like, there was just something there for me that I never saw with her and Rand that I thought, oh, this could be a wee click. So that's my prediction.
Hashtag Pegwin.
Pegwin! That sounds terrible. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying everything you're reading at the moment, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye! Okay.